We're going to take a look at what you can do on short notice. And when thinking about the way people manage their business, most really want to get started so they can start generating some income while they're building their business and learning about what they have. We're no different here at Ingreso. We want to help you to leverage the products you have and then also leverage the income possibilities. You're not going to be able to do it if you try to do everything at once. So we're going to start off and put some focus on some things. We're going to take a look at the macro look, and then you can do the micro stuff. So step one, you want to project your month, okay? If you come in, you want to pick a product and determine which ones you buy based on the video you may have seen earlier, where I tell you to to start with what you want. If you have need of an autoresponder and don't have one yet, start there. If you need a website builder and you haven't, start with what you want, right? As you project your month, and I want you to keep it simple. So as you project your month, I want you to think about which product this month you're going to put a focus on and really get as much out of it as you can by spending at least 15 or 20 minutes a day, just trying to learn more about how to maximize that product, okay? Now, while you're maximizing that product, I want you to maximize the compensation. And the way to do that is think of keeping it in a way that, okay, what can I do this month on short notice to generate an income? I want to tell you something. It's magical. You may have already seen it in one of the previous videos. But just look at setting up your system in whole numbers, what you want to make. If you start thinking of what happens if I bring in 0.007 or 0.01 Bitcoin, think in whole numbers, okay? So when you look at something like 0.01 Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's at, let's say, $10,000, so 0.01 is easy. It's $100, right? Simple stuff. What you want to do is try to figure out what makes sense for you. All right, and then what you do is you follow my lead. If you sponsor just 3 people, that's it, and you work with those 3 to get their 3. That's what you do. You sponsor 3, and you work with those 3 to get their 3. What you're going to do is, if you're thinking about, let's say, the equivalent of $100 level, if you do that and all of you do the same thing, but watch this now, you're going to generate about 700 of them, $700, right? It's not hard to think about. So you don't have to have lots of Bitcoin. I recommend if you have 1 Bitcoin to do it, because you're going to generate 7 Bitcoin at the end of this thing. But just by sponsoring 3, you're going to grow your income by 7 times. If you can master 3, and instead of going for 4th and 5th, to help them to do it, because of our pass-up system, you don't have to spend all your time being selfish, only sponsoring people. You can just sponsor a handful and help those people to sponsor so that all of you can generate a great income. So when you project your month, and think about it like this. You're going to start at the equivalent of a $500 level, no problem. If you do that, just note, you're going to end up making about $3,500 for the month. If all you do is sponsor 3 people at the equivalent of $500 level, and to understand this better, you're going to look below at the Pass Up Profits video that I have there, right below in that section there. So Pass Up Profits, watch it so you can see what I'm talking about. So project your month, and you want to project your month by determining which product you're going to start with. Then, of course, how to deal with the income. How do I project my month income-wise? What do I want to do? If you average 3 people, and each week you help those level get 3. And then the third week you have that level get their 3. By the time the end of the month gets here, you have 4 levels of people that have gotten 3 people. And watch how powerful this is. First week, you got 3 people. The second week, you have 9 on your team. The third week, you start to grow your team exponentially. You have 27 people. By the 4th week, you can have 81 people in your team. No joke. Now, what's powerful about this is every 5th position passes up. So you're going to be making your money. They're going to be making theirs. You don't have to, like I said, ignore your people. You could work with them. And you'll be able to generate 7 times what you started with, just based on the first 2 levels getting their 3. Okay? Now, if you don't need to know what I'm talking about, you can pause the video and keep watching this part over. Or you can go through the Pass Up Profits and watch what happens as I demonstrate for you what happens on your first 2 levels that you build through and how that grows 7 times. Now, what next? Less is more. You're going to be tempted to overdo it. You're going to build all kinds of funnels. You're going to tell yourself why you want to start your membership site. You're going to want to all of a sudden start white labeling and submit, working on all these different multi-level campaigns. I'm telling you to keep it simple and then grow progressively. You don't have to do everything in the first day, in the first week. Keep it simple. Less is more on short notice, right? But you don't want to begin a business and then have it go 2 or 3 weeks and no revenue generated. It's a business. You want to do it so you stay in profit mode. To start a business and spend month after month and no income makes no sense. So you want to keep it simple and know less is more. Now, when you're doing this, you're going to run into some challenges. Those challenges are going to present themselves by the way of someone wants to get started with you, but they don't have Bitcoin, right? When that happens, I'm going to want you to go back up and I want you to take a look at the video that either I have below, which shows you how you can actually use Coinbase, Paxful, or Uphold to get Bitcoin. If you run into challenges and you have any challenges at all, beyond that, submit a ticket to us and we'll help you to get Bitcoin, right? We'll help you. There's no reason to go and not be able to make a sell because a person doesn't have Bitcoin. You can use the resources we've given you, or you can contact us so we can assist you in that process. Now, it may be that you have already Bitcoin in your back office, that you get paid today, but it happens after midnight. When that happens, you can use your income that's going to be coming to sign someone else up, and you can take the cash from them yourself. So getting Bitcoin for your prospect should never let that do anything to block you. Now, lastly, you may recognize you did, for the first time in your life, you've made a decent amount of Bitcoin or money. And now you've made, let's say, 0.5 Bitcoin, which is about $3,800 or almost $4,000 or over $4,000 actually. And you need to get that cash. Well, I want you to note, you can literally create your Coinbase account if you have it. And I know people are going to tell you don't do it because you're going to have to give your information. You shouldn't let that bother you. You already do that. If you bank somewhere, you didn't create a bank account without giving them your driver's license or some sort of identification. Don't feel weird about doing that. I know people who are extremists want you to believe that there's an issue there. The idea is if you're using the money, shouldn't have a problem. If it's just sitting, you can put that in blockchain.info. You don't really require to turn in any type of ID for that. But for getting cash, right? People need to know who you are. And it's important to note so you can have some prudent transactions. So now when you do this, set an Uphold account. You can withdraw up to $10,000 a day. I don't think there is a limit at Coinbase. When you submit to have your Bitcoin turn into cash, it's in your bank account within 15 to 20 minutes. No joke. So then if you run into other challenges beyond that we don't know about, submit a ticket, allow our customer mentor team to help get that resolved for you. Now, on short notice, get started, get going, and don't you dare let the month go on when you don't know more about your product and you haven't generated a proper income for you and your family. This is Dwayne Golden. Take care.